been bothering me about Rob McCoy, other than the fact that he lies and he proclaims to be a pastor, is the fact that less than 36 hours after Charlie died, the Turning Point USA Wikipedia received a rather interesting update.
A prominent conservative organization's history was rewritten online just a day and a half after its founder's sudden death. This is a story about how money, influence, and digital manipulation are quietly shaping the messages you hear from the pulpit and the podium. Before we begin, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the deeper investigations ahead. The digital footprint of Turning Point USA, a well-known conservative student group, was altered in a particularly suspicious manner. Less than 36 hours after the announcement of founder Charlie Kirk's passing, an editor made a significant change to its Wikipedia page. This update inserted Pastor Rob McCoy, a prominent figure from Godspeak Calvary Chapel in California, into the organization's history, naming him not just a participant, but a co-founder and the chairman of Tpusa Faith, the group's religious outreach arm. The speed of this change is the first red flag. In the immediate aftermath of a leader's death, when an organization is at its most vulnerable and public attention is focused on mourning, the historical record was being adjusted. It suggests an urgency to cement a new narrative before any official, verified succession plan could be communicated or even established. The alteration transforms the story of Tpusa Faith from a solo endeavor by Kirk into a partnership, a shift that carries significant weight in terms of legacy and, potentially, future leadership and control of the influential faith-based division. The second, and more damning, issue lies in the evidence provided for this substantial historical claim. Wikipedia, as a crowdsourced encyclopedia, relies on a system of verifiability. Editors are supposed to back up their changes with citations from reliable, published sources. In this case, the editor did provide citations, but upon close inspection, those citations completely fail to support the new claims. The sources linked might have mentioned Pastor McCoy in passing or discussed Tpusa Faith in a general sense, but they contained no information confirming his role as a co-founder or chairman. This is a critical breakdown in the process. It means the change wasn't just hasty, it was poorly constructed, attempting to lend an air of legitimacy without the substance. It points to an effort to create a fact by simply placing it in a trusted repository and hoping the citations would go unquestioned during a chaotic time. This act exposes the fragility of our shared digital history. If a platform as widely used as Wikipedia can be manipulated so quickly and with such flimsy evidence, it calls into question the integrity of the information we often take for granted. Furthermore, this new entry directly conflicts with the existing, and still live, Wikipedia entry for Tpusa Faith itself, which clearly states that Charlie Kirk founded the initiative alone. This creates a glaring contradiction on one of the world's most visited websites, leaving the average reader confused about whom to believe and undermining the very concept of a stable historical record. Simultaneous to this digital mystery, a separate but seemingly connected operation was allegedly unfolding, targeting the public discourse within conservative media. A detailed report has surfaced alleging a coordinated campaign to financially incentivize pastors to publicly smear two specific media personalities, Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. Both figures, while popular on the right, have expressed views that stray from certain mainstream conservative positions, particularly regarding foreign policy and the unwavering support for Israel. The method of payment described in the report is particularly noteworthy for its modern and shadowy nature: large, untraceable Bitcoin payments. The offer, as outlined, wasn't for thoughtful theological debate or reasoned political critique. It was a straightforward financial transaction: create and publish content condemning Owens and Carlson, and receive a significant sum of cryptocurrency, designed to leave no paper trail. This moves the interaction from the realm of ideological persuasion into the territory of paid influence, raising serious ethical questions about the authenticity of public commentary when financial rewards are secretly attached. The report goes further, identifying a specific organization named Eagle Wings as the sponsor of trips for pastors to travel to Israel. There is nothing inherently suspicious about religious leaders visiting holy sites; such pilgrimages are common. However, the allegation is that a noticeable shift occurred in the rhetoric of some pastors upon their return. They began to focus heavily on pro-Israel messaging, often intertwining it with strong, unexpected criticisms of Owens and Carlson, who have been vocal with their skepticism of certain U.S. foreign policies. The coincidence of timing, returning from a sponsored trip and then launching into a script of talking points that aligns perfectly with the agenda of the trip's sponsor, suggests a powerful form of influence. It's not a direct payment for a specific video, but a more subtle, and perhaps more effective, form of persuasion, an all-expenses-paid experience designed to shape worldview and, by extension, public commentary. When this newly adopted perspective then manifests as attacks on specific individuals who oppose that worldview, it paints a picture of a coordinated political strategy leveraging religious authority. The digital age, for all its promises of transparency and democratized information, has also birthed sophisticated and insidious methods of narrative control. The recent revelations concerning a coordinated campaign to manipulate public opinion through religious leaders are not merely a political scandal, they are a case study in modern information warfare. When we pull back the curtain on these specific events, we see a disturbing blueprint for how truth can be undermined, trust can be weaponized, and history itself can be rewritten in real time. Perhaps the most startling piece of evidence, one that transforms abstract allegations into a concrete and documented operation, is a verified email, cited in the official report, that appears to lay out the terms of this alleged campaign with chilling explicitness. This email, reportedly originating from a shadowy group, does not deal in hints or suggestions. It is a straightforward business proposition, albeit one with profound cultural and political consequences. The email outlines an offer for pastors to receive a payment of $2,500, delivered in the cryptocurrency Bitcoin, with a single, clear condition: the creation and public posting of content that condemns two specific public figures, Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. This is not a vague allegation gleaned from an anonymous source or a speculative theory, it is a direct, documented offer that creates an unambiguous tie between a financial incentive and a specific public relations goal. The very existence of this document shifts the entire investigation from the realm of he said, she said, into the realm of forensic evidence. The choice of the $2,500 figure is itself a masterclass in psychological and economic manipulation. It is a sum strategically calculated to be significant enough to serve as a substantial incentive for many community pastors, for whom this could represent a meaningful financial boost, covering expenses or supplementing a modest income. It is large enough to command serious attention and action, yet not so large as to be automatically suspect or to attract the attention of major financial regulators. It operates in a Goldilocks zone of corruption, just right to motivate action without immediately triggering alarm bells. This careful calibration indicates a deep understanding of the target demographic's financial pressures and vulnerabilities. Even more telling than the amount, however, is the chosen method of payment: Bitcoin. The use of cryptocurrency is not a random or technologically trendy choice, it is a deliberate and tactical decision that provides a critical layer of deniability and anonymity for all parties involved. For the pair, Bitcoin transactions can be routed through multiple wallets and international exchanges, creating a labyrinthine trail that is exceptionally difficult for investigators to follow to its ultimate source. For the recipient, the pastor, it offers a form of plausible deniability. There is no check from a traceable organization, no bank transfer with a memo line reading payment for smear campaign. The digital, decentralized nature of Bitcoin allows the recipient to accept the funds while maintaining a public facade of organic, heartfelt conviction. This technological veil is what makes the scheme so potent and so dangerous. It severs the traditional link between action and accountability. This email, therefore, is far more than a single piece of correspondence. It is the crucial thread that, when pulled, unravels to reveal the broader, more complex tapestry of allegations. It moves the accusation from a potential astroturfing campaign, where sentiment is merely fake and manufactured, to something more pernicious, a co-opt and corrupt campaign. It suggests that the smearing of Owens and Carlson was not a spontaneous, organic movement arising authentically from within these religious communities. Congregants did not suddenly, en masse, feel compelled to speak out based on a shared, newfound theological or ethical conviction. Instead, the evidence points to a centrally coordinated effort, one with a defined budget, a clear target list, and a tactical playbook. The goal appears to be the strategic silencing of powerful critics not through open debate, but through psychological subversion, by turning the very pillars of trusted communities, the pastors, against them. This leveraged the moral authority and ingrained trust these figures command to lend a veneer of authenticity and credibility to what is, in essence, a paid political attack. It is a strategy that poisons the well of community discourse at its source. When you step back and look at this event in conjunction with other recent occurrences, a deeply disturbing and consistent pattern begins to emerge, pointing to a multi-front war on objective truth. On one hand, you have the rapid, poorly sourced rewriting of a major organization's history at a moment of perceived vulnerability. This act involved inserting a specific, favorable religious leader into a position of founding authority, effectively retrofitting the past to serve a present-day agenda. This is not a simple error or an innocent historical update, it is an act of narrative capture, an attempt to control an institution's origin story and, by extension, its soul and future direction. On the other hand, you have this coordinated campaign, allegedly funded through untraceable cryptocurrency and supported by sponsored, all-expenses-paid international travel, aimed squarely at using religious leaders as instruments to discredit public figures who hold critical views on a particular nation-state. While a direct, formal, organizational link between the historical revision and the pastor payment scheme may not yet be proven, the thematic and strategic alignment is too striking to ignore. Both actions point towards a sophisticated playbook laser-focused on controlling narratives across time and space. One tactic seeks to control the past by altering historical records and digital footprints to suit a new ideological or political agenda. It understands that whoever controls the past controls the present, as a manufactured legacy can be used to justify contemporary actions and policies. The other tactic seeks to control the present by financially incentivizing the manipulation of public opinion within influential, trust-based communities. It understands that whoever controls the present narrative controls the public's perception of reality, shaping what they believe to be true and morally righteous in the here and now. It is critical to understand that this is not fundamentally about left or right politics. To dismiss it as such is to miss the larger, more terrifying point. This is about the integrity of information itself, the very bedrock of a functioning civil society. These events demonstrate with terrifying clarity how easily our digital history, our shared record of what happened, can be corrupted with a few keystrokes by anonymous actors. They show how trusted community voices, the very people we turn to for ethical guidance, can be covertly co-opted when financial or other powerful incentives are applied quietly and effectively, away from the scrutiny of their congregations. The most concerning takeaway from this entire affair is that the entire architecture of these manipulation campaigns is fundamentally reliant on secrecy and opacity. Each component depends on the public's lack of vigilance. The Wikipedia edit relies on people not taking the time to check the citations or investigate the edit history, trusting the platform's veneer of crowdsourced accuracy. The payment to the pastors relies entirely on the anonymity and deniability provided by cryptocurrency, creating a shadow economy for influence. The persuasive power of the sponsored trips relies on the audience not knowing that the fact-finding mission was entirely curated and paid for by the very interests the speaker is now defending. The organic opinion is revealed to be a product, paid for and delivered. This is why the power of these operations is so profoundly diminished when they are exposed to the harsh light of public scrutiny. Secrecy is their armor, transparency is their kryptonite. The moment a paid pastor is identified, his moral authority crumbles. The moment a Wikipedia edit is revealed to be UN-sourced vandalism, it is reverted. The moment a grassroots movement is shown to be astroturf, it loses all persuasive power. Therefore, understanding these mechanisms, the how, the why, and the who, is not an academic exercise. It is the first and most crucial step toward building a societal immune system capable of defending against them. We must cultivate a new literacy of skepticism, not cynicism, teaching people to interrogate the sources of their information, to ask who benefits from me believing this, and to recognize the hallmarks of coordinated inauthentic behavior. The battle for the future will be a battle over narrative, fought in the spaces between truth and perception. If you wish to be a free and informed participant in that future, rather than a manipulated pawn, it is imperative to stay vigilant. This requires going beyond headline consumption and seeking out reporting dedicated to pulling back the curtain on these very operations. The tools of manipulation are always evolving, our awareness and resistance must evolve faster. If you want to stay informed on how the narratives you consume are being shaped behind the scenes, and to continue this crucial investigation into the unseen forces vying for your mind, consider subscribing for more reporting. Your attention is the front line.